We shall see.
We shall see.
Don't
Welcome
know
back.
how-
Yeah?
What's up, guys? No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another long-awaited episode of We Shall See. I'm one of your co-hosts, one of the co-pilots of this ship. You can call me the Young Avell. Y'all know me well. Multi-million-dollar recording artist, entrepreneur. Nah, I'm just joking. Not there yet, but I'm gonna get there. Entrepreneur, self-proclaimed alpha male, master manifester,
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
former police officer, had to leave the gig. I was running from the cops. Now I am not. I'm on the block. No, I'm just joking. And please, here with my good brother, my best friend, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am the guy in the last video that was really pissed off. No, my name is Corey McEnroe, and me and Tej, the Young Avell, have been good friends here for over 10 years now, which is dope. And like my favorite thing about our friendship is we met in our early 20s, where we were already kind of like starting to figure out who we were as young men. So like it's real because we went through a different set of trials and tribulations than you do with like your high school and your grade school friends, because it's such a different kind of come up. So yeah, feels good to be back and getting the We Shall See podcast kicking again, because we definitely saw
Exactly.
we definitely saw
Exactly.
and we shall see.
That's why it took so long for us to get to the third episode.
We're looking, bro.
After we're done with the second, hey, all right, we shall see. We ended it. Boy, we definitely saw, and we were seen.
This is 3. We only got to 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, we got 2 for the people. 2 for the people. But we're back, and it was so crazy because one of the things that we saw, and I was there for you during this time, was you lost some of your fingers, brother.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes.
What the heck, bro?
Yeah. So this is not a
we saw.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was crazy, man, and it like, I'll try to summarize it, okay? Because I could go on for a long time, so I'll try to summarize it.
Yeah.
I was caught a baseball in the gap in center field playing in a men's league, caught a baseball, and the fence was right here. So when I caught it, smashed into the fence, and the impact, I was born with an extra rib in my neck. So that extra rib from that impact pressed onto my, can we see the scar? Clavicle artery. There's a scar there. I don't know if it picks up on camera. So that pressed onto my clavicle artery, and over 6 months, symptoms on and off, like couldn't figure out what's going on. My thumb ended up dying on my hand. And then earlier this year in January, I had 4 surgeries in January, and then my thumb got amputated the day after Valentine's Day. And then we had to wait like 6 weeks to find out if I needed a skin graft to close the wound. Turns out I did. That was cutting off my index finger and folding the skin down. So that's the crazy thing, is like what closed the wound on my hand is the skin from my index finger. Wild.
We saw.
It was wild to like lose one finger, and then like the solution to end the problem is also lose another.
Yeah. I just want to say something real quick. And I remember when I was on the phone talking with you about this, I always, now I won't say always because this just happened to you, and I told you this, I admired how you went so fast into acceptance of it, like not just acceptance, but your attitude about it. Like the world's not over. I mean, obviously the world's not over, but that's like, you're losing 2 prime fingers. At least it's on your non-dominant hand, but the way that you were able to frame it in a way where you're like, things are still up. I'm still gonna move forward with things. just your attitude, man. Your attitude in that whole process was something that I took. I'm like, yo, this dude, people could say what they want about him, but he's strong, man. Because I don't
Yeah.
know a lot of people, God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not your average occurrence, you know?
No, it's actually funny that you say that because the rarity of it, everybody, I'll just jump to conclusion because like I said, I wanted to summarize this so we don't have to go into so much detail about it. But everybody would ask me when I tell them the story, obviously when you have something crazy like this, they go, are you able to sue for the situation? Because I did have two doctors along the way in the 6 months misdiagnose me.
Mm,
So definitely seemed like we could sue. Just found out actually a couple days ago. Turns out we cannot sue. I had a really good law firm in Tucson do a bunch of research on my records, and it turns out that there are three types of thoracic outlet syndrome, and the two main types are the 99 percentile, and then the type that I had is 1 percentile, essentially because my rib was pressing on the artery. That was just so random and unique. And because
mm.
it was so random and unique, the doctors are not at fault. So,
You think it's the other way around?
so yeah, that was a weird. That was that happened on Thursday. I found out. So a couple days ago, and for probably about 5 months now, I've been thinking, there's a pretty good chance we're going to be able to sue, and I'm going to be able to get some financial compensation for this. And when I found out that that wasn't going to happen, I kind of just had to do exactly what you were talking about, which is just accept it and move forward and say I'm going to keep going and keep figuring it out. Because yeah, man, I mean, just to kind of touch back on how you were saying that before, when this first happened, I was like really depressed, hard depressed for like 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. The first month in the hospital was a lot of ups and downs. You don't get any sleep in the hospital. You don't
Mm,
rest in a hospital. It's the biggest oxymoron. You would think that you would get rest, but you don't get any rest. It's the strangest thing. Um and yeah, man, I when I got out of the hospital and I was, nursing the amputation and just kind of waiting to find out if I needed the skin graft or not, I was like so bummed almost every day, all day. And that got so exhausting. On top of like trying to recover from like a crazy surgery, I'm also like exhausting myself by being bummed out.
mm,
So I just was like, I don't feel like being bothered by this anymore. So
mhm.
I'm just gonna like be like, yes, whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Um,
I kind of had a similar. I had a similar thing with this. Truth be told, if you didn't know, running a business is hard. You know, and, and it's felt like nonstop challenges. But we were talking about this the other day, just about how things are going to play out how they play out regardless. And it's like, if you really want what you're going for, you might have to kick it into another gear. Like when you think that you've given enough, when you think that you're doing what you need to do, it's like, guess what? Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Like you need to put out more. You need to put out more. You need to do more than you're doing. You need to figure out ways that you can still do what you're doing, what you've been doing, the stuff that's working, but you're gonna have to add stuff in there. And for me, that's what I've been that's what I've been doing lately this whole time. Just getting my shit together. My shit is pretty together, but like for example, one of the things that I had to do was I had to let go of this girl. Oh my gosh, it hurt my soul. It hurt my soul, brother. It hurt my soul. I had to let go of this girl, man, because she deserved it. Not in a bad way, but she deserved. No,
she deserved it.
she deserved she deserved more, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Than what you're ready to offer.
Yeah, she asked for my hand. and I
In
declined.
marriage.
Yeah, I'm not in marriage, but I declined. Funny thing, she was like, because I'm always honest with women, and I tell them, I've seen other people as well, safe and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and you know, putting the truth out there in the beginning. So towards the end, she started saying, "Oh, it's okay. I know you see other people. We can still go on things like trips." Oh no, she actually didn't like that. And I was like, "I'm not trying to commit though." And she was like, "You don't have to commit. I just don't like that you see other girls and we can go on trips and go places." And I'm like, "That's a relationship."
Yeah, yeah.
We can
You
we
don't
can
have to commit to me, but you cannot see other people.
yeah,
Uh,
we can't
yeah,
do that. We
yeah,
can't do
that's having your cake and eating it too, and it's not
yeah.
gonna work. It's not gonna work for the young Avell right now in 2023.
Truth be told, I hit her up this past I think it was yesterday. Yesterday what yesterday or the day before, seeing if she wanted to go to the full moon party, and she was like, "Oh, I don't think it's a good idea because then things won't be clear. Because I know if
And
she gets in my
like,
presence,
she's
it's
gonna
on like Donkey Kong, brother."
she's gonna catch feelings, man.
Yeah,
you can't be doing that.
yeah, yeah. So that was I had to let that go, and it was funny because life is interesting. Life is interesting where it's like, and I noticed this recently, when you take something out, something else fills the void.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Every time.
And as soon, like, bro, like that week that she removed herself, others came in. It
Mm,
was just the craziest thing. And two of them were some that I had talked that I had stopped talking to when I started talking to her for
mm,
other different reasons. Like
yeah, yeah.
they just started talking to other people, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm with this girl anyway. And now that she's gone, the other two just slid back in. I'm like, yo, reality is funny, man.
Yeah.
Life is
It,
definitely
it really is. I'm glad you say that that exact thing, man, because the last time we did this, I was like so hot and furious about where I was in my life
yeah.
and just did not know what I was doing. I was working at Starbucks. I was so frustrated. And
Mhm.
then the craziest thing happens and um now I'm using this to get into like motivational public speaking and I really feel like I have a very clear path and course now. And it's so funny how like the universe just works in a weird way. I had to take a loss as well. It's a different loss than like a chick moving out, but like and
Yeah.
it's the same metaphor though, analogy, simile, whatever it is.
Mhm.
uh that like all of a sudden I feel like I have direction from the removal of something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because it's like you said, man. Life puts you in a unexpected direction. It's funny because I was asking, like, yo, what are the new directions? Like, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still doing what I'm doing, but I got to do more. So I'm like, I'm asking, what do I do now? Because it's been quite painful. Not lose a finger painful, but it's like suffering and frustration and annoyance and stuff like that. And I was listening to this video about how it was said in the Dhammapada, which I guess is a teaching, the Buddha said, a wise person is beyond fear and as a result is truly free. So they're addressing fear. They're addressing fear, and most people are afraid of pain. They don't want to feel pain, so they're always trying to run from that slash run towards something. So, long story short, in that video, they basically were talking about reframing pain in your mind and reframing pain and fear in your mind to understand it as being bearable and necessary, you
Yeah,
know? So
that's
that's
nail on the head for my situation.
yeah, yeah. I was talking to a guy in the sauna yesterday, an old guy. He's bringing up the Grateful Dead, and I talked, sharing him about that. Sauna's nice because you get real conversations with people while you're kind of suffering. So there's no phones and
Yeah,
it's cold.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he was just happy to talk, and he was waving his hand, and his sweat was dripping all like it was
That,
hitting me in the face. And I'm like,
oh,
he's just happy, you
he was
know.
in it. He was in it.
He was in it, you
Yeah.
know, talking about, and he's like, I had some operations and some pain, you know, they cut me up real bad, you know, and but then he'll say something, then he'll laugh at his own joke deep. And I'm just like, yeah, man, I hear you, brother. I hear you. We're all just fucking dripping sweat. But you know, we shared that whole thing about, you know, pain is necessary and bearable. And I think those are important things for us to take with us now that we are super about like, yo, we really got to make this crack, bro. Like, we really got
Yeah,
to make it crack.
yeah,
Like, did you feel something different like around this past full moon slash the beginning of this new season?
yeah, yeah. I mean, ironically, my birthday came on Tuesday. I turned
Happy
35.
birthday
Yep,
again today.
35. Um, and yeah, I mean, I was like already ready to start launching my public speaking, like my website and some my Instagram profile and some YouTube stuff. Like I was ready to thrust it out there, and that's what's coming in the later days. Um, and then like 2 days after I was ready to launch it, actually no, the day that I like posted all this stuff on my Instagram, I also found out that I wasn't getting the lawsuit. And it was just like, dude, it was just kind of like God being like, hey man, nothing's ever going to be handed to you. Just kind of like how you were saying, once you think you've put in enough work, you still got to put in more. I thought that getting my two fingers removed was like enough, that I like deserve something back, but the universe is like, nah, bro, like you gotta go out and you gotta earn this. And like I've given you a tool now. It's weird, man. I call this a weapon. It's so
Mm,
strange. I call it
kind of looks like a weapon. It looks like a hook almost. Like if
ah,
you grab somebody by the oh shit.
oh, yeah, but no, that it's not that powerful, but it's metaphorically very powerful. And like it's for lack of a better term, it's kind of like a trauma weapon, I call it, because like trauma can kind of like range from like mild to severe. And like
Mm,
obviously like my trauma physically was very severe. And it, the emotional process and the mental process was also, very severe. But like that doesn't mean that to you, the way you felt about breaking up with that girl isn't the same severity of pain to you.
yeah. Yeah.
So um what I realized with this is like when I first went into the hospital, this was caused from a baseball injury. I was a baseball coach. Um, so when I first went into the hospital, I knew I wanted to get into public speaking, but the main goal was let's talk to young athletes about what it takes to be a professional athlete and like how you can get the most out of sports without having to be a professional athlete, and how to have realistic expectations. Cause I didn't, and it kind of led me psychologically down a road. It's a long story for another time, but it kind of contributed to what happened here. Okay. Uh, so for many months of this year, I was focused on like talking to young athletes and talking to their parents and talking to young athletes and their parents, which I very much still am. But I realized after living with this now for a few months and talking to people and still being alive and doing everything, I realized that like I have this way to talk to anybody who's ever honestly had a bad day. It's like I had a pretty bad day.
Yeah.
So, like it's to wrap around to your question was did I feel anything different from this full moon change? Yeah. Yeah, I did, because I'm very motivated now, because I have like a specific audience with athletes and their parents, and I have a widespread audience with like anybody who just honestly wants to be better at accepting what is.
Mm.
Because
You know,
there's a real quick, there's a level of like consciousness. You've seen this in like the lower levels of frequency and vibration, or like fear and anger and like lust and shame and all that shit. And then like you get up in here, and when you get to the highest level of consciousness and vibration, it's life just is.
mm, yeah,
Just is.
yeah, yeah. And then that piggybacks to what I was just about to say. I was watching this video randomly on YouTube today, actually, and it actually brought me to tears. It brought me to tears, and it was a video of this homeless man, uh, or maybe he was not homeless, but it said in the video, previous homeless man delivers, God speaks through him, or something like that.
Mhm.
And this dude was dropping wisdom for 13 minutes straight at this the people who were recording him inside a car, because I guess they might have just given him food, and he was just hitting them with like the word, the good
Yes.
word, the good
Yes.
word, bro. And
Yes.
he was talking about like, yo, the journey is this is one of many immaculate points that he said. He was saying like the journey, it's about the journey. Most people are just fixated on the destination, and they don't y'all gonna be sorry when you get there, because things will change. Like the destination is always evolving, it's always shifting and things like that. And if you get so wrapped up into it, you're gonna miss out on the journey. And then he was like, everybody's in such a hurry right now to get to that destination, to get to whatever they're trying to get to. And it's like, yo, God, it has you where you are to show you something. Like who do you need to impact? What do you need to do in this season of your life? Like that's how you got to be thinking. You're not gonna. It's not about rushing to get to the destination right now, because it's about the journey. And I was just thinking, the reason I brought it up was because I was just listening to you talk, and just how since our last episode things have changed. You know what I'm saying? And things will
Quite a
continue
journey. Quite a journey.
yeah, and things will continue to change
Yeah.
to the point where it's like, yo, be a little bit more present about what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was like the one of the biggest things that like this kind of forced me to do, was obviously, so much hospital time and so much downtime recovering. Can only watch so many Marvel movies. Um and yeah, I mean, it's just I enjoy life so much more every day. It's such a gift to still be here. And it feels easier and more comfortable to not be so rushing to try to, as you're saying, get to the destination.
I talked to this girl that I've been, talking to yesterday, and we have one of the like deepest conversations uh that we've ever had last night, yesterday. And she was the girl that came back when the other one left. And I had, yeah, whatever. She came back. So, yo, she was telling me some of the stuff that, she's gone through with her previous partner. Her previous partner was like super tapped into the spiritual realm. And yo, it was some crazy, crazy, like I'm talking about people coming through him, and exorcisms, but then also good people. Like he was an open channel, but he was in the army too, so he did things, and he would ask her like, you think I'm gonna get into heaven? And I'm not gonna put her business out there, it doesn't matter because I'll never drop her name. But yo, it was crazy just to have that conversation with her, and just bring that element to ground us into the present moment, about like, yo, life is actually way more crazy than we think. It's not just about like, oh my God, I'm so sad I didn't reach my goal. Like, no, 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 no. Like there's a lot it's deeper than you think, bro. Like you lost your fingers. Is a deeper reason for that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like like us doing what we're doing right now. It's a deeper reason for that. Me being in this season that I am with shifting things in the business and having all these other ideas and things that I want to attack. Like there's a reason that this is happening, and it's about just locking into right now. Locking into this moment, to the journey. You know, and I want to ask you a question.
Uh,
I remember yesterday we was talking about a little incident that I had with a chickadee,
uh,
you know, and you brought up a girl that you were going after when when you first started dating, right? So I don't know if I could say her. Let's just say her first name, Bree, right?
okay. Sure. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you said
I
that,
wasted a bunch of time.
yeah, and like you were just your whole, what was it, like senior year or something? You had one focus.
Junior year.
Junior year, one focus. What was that focus?
This is because we talked about losing my virginity young.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
we were talking about it. I lost my virginity at like 15. So by 17 as a junior, I was just I was just looking to smash when I
Right.
should have been looking to, smash the weight room, smash the books a little bit harder.
Now, my question is this: did you obtain the V card that you sought after
Yeah,
so?
yeah, but like,
You did.
if you keep running full speed into a wall, eventually it's gonna crack.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That's like, young pursuit. I'm knocking this out.
yeah, yeah. Because it was just so funny to hear that. Like your whole junior year, there was just one thing on your mind: I need to get this V card.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, man, when I have my kids and hopefully I get to have some sons, I'm definitely gonna tell them like, yo, just leave sex for later. Just it changes how you think and focus, and just wait until you're a little bit older, get through high school and still have girlfriends and date and do whatever you want, but like just save the actual intercourse connection for when you're just a little bit more mature and know yourself, and you can better manage the feelings and cravings that come after it happens.
Hmm.
Because I was 15, so I didn't understand, like, yo, once you do this one time, like, you're gonna think it's like riding a roller coaster,
Yeah,
so
doing
like
the
you're trying to
difficulty.
punch a ticket every time.
About to
you
get
know?
heroin. You're about to get that crack cocaine.
Yeah, and then, like, when you're young and you have so much more access to your peers, there's like so many options, you know what I mean? Like, as a kid, like, I was way too girl crazy. I think many kids go through that, both sexes.
Yeah.
They just get way too like relationship crazy. And like, I will say this, my granny McEnroe, the sweetest woman in the whole world, definitely attributed to my lack of focus and my extra focus on women. And here's why. Every time, every time I go see my granny when I was a little boy, I'm talking kindergarten up, bro, 5 years old and on. She go, "Hey Corey, do you have a girlfriend?" You gotta understand, man. Like, you ask me that every year of school. You ask me that every year of school from
Yeah.
a young age. What do you think I think each year of school is for?
That,
Right?
that's a clip right there.
So
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. I try not to dwell on this that much anymore, but man, like the stuff that you say to kids, you don't realize how much of programs you're building in their personality.
Yeah.
You
Of an impact. Yeah. Yeah.
um so
I think. I think right there is a good place to
Cool.
right. You know, we got what 30, 35, 40 minutes in.
Yeah, yeah, we're just shy of 40. We're like 35 and a half right now.
Yeah. So yeah, because I don't feel like we don't need to drag it into a second thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was a good way to end it, Granny. You know, thanks a lot, Granny. You
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
dude, she was the best, man. And listen, I'll tell you another funny story about Granny because we still got a little time. If it was once November hit, basically once October hit, all right, if you went to Granny's house and I was young, she'd go, "You guys just missed them." And I'd be like, "Who, Granny?" And she'd be like, "The elves. Santa's elves were just here and they're asking me what you want for Christmas. Have you been a good boy?" And I'm,
Nice.
and I'm like 5 years
Nice.
old, 5, 6 years old. I'm like, "What do you mean the elves were just here?" And she's like, "Yeah, just as you were pulling in, they scurried out the window and they had to go back to the North Pole.
Oh my
But they
gosh.
wanted to know what you wanted for Christmas." So I'm super gullible. I believe Santa all the way till I'm 8, which apparently is kind of old. And yeah, man, when I found out that Santa wasn't real, it was a rough day. And I also attribute that to my sweet granny just egging me on and just layering it on that it's real. Elves were just here, dude. You missed them. Come on. I'm supposed to trust my granny. I'm supposed to trust this person. She's lying right to my face.
Well, guys, everyone, thank you for tuning in to our long-awaited third episode back of We Shall See.
We shall see.
We got new directions. We got new things that we're working towards. Hope you guys have a great start to the week. For us, it's Sunday. You might see this a little bit later. So, Core, anything?
We saw and we shall see. Yeah. Peace, y'all.